Hey everybody, it is Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and I'm coming to you tonight with a update video on a really cool B&T pistol that I have because I finally was able to pick up the suppressors that go with it. And I also want to talk about Mitch McConnell and old politicians and why we're still going to lose our gun rights. I know sometimes people don't like it when I'm so negative about the future of our gun rights because they assume that just because, we had the Bruin decision and that we have supposedly pro-gun politicians being elected, I still think in the end we're going to lose because the government does what the government does. And people's ambitions for their own personal power will always outweigh your constitutional rights. But before I get into all the negative stuff, let's talk about the cool stuff. I obviously just got back in from my vacation in New Mexico, and I'm telling you, it is a hot garage here again in Frisco, Texas. And when you wake up in beautiful New Mexico, up in the mountains, near Santa Fe and Albuquerque, and it is 65 degrees with low humidity, it's gorgeous. And then you fly here to DFW, and it is 108 degrees and high humidity. You begin to question yourself, why in the heck do I live here? But it is what it is. But let's talk about what we have here on the table. Maybe some of you guys would recognize this awesome case. This is the VP9 by B&T. Stands for veterinary pistol. It's not the Volks pistol like HK. And this is a limited run firearm that B&T made. It's very similar to their Station 6. Now the Station 6 is the more Americanized version of this firearm. And both of them are kind of copies of the World War II well rod, which if you don't know, go check it out. Really cool gun in history. It's a bolt-action, manually operated pistol that had a wiped suppressor. It was used by the British secret forces and special forces in World War II for clandestine operations. And B&T has adapted it to be I guess the Station 6, as I said, is more like their production Americanized one. It has a right-hand thread. You get two suppressors with it. One's a wipe suppressor, one they call a training suppressor, which is baffled. Kind of a traditional silencer that you would get here in the States. And they have the VP9. And I believe these are only 500 of these were ever made. And as I said, it stands for the veterinary pistol because its intended purpose is to be used by vets to put down animals if they have to put them down in a humane way. But obviously, you don't want to be loud with a firearm. So that's what it's designed. But the VP9 is closer to the original well rod. So it comes with this beautiful case. Open this thing up. And let me show you. Of course, this does not have the suppressors in the case yet. But you get the cleaning kit, the tool, to help take out the wipes. You get a rod, you get extra magazine, and here, of course, is the pistol. And there it is. It is bolt operated, so if I push in the grip safety, I can pull out the bolt. There's the chamber. Looks just like the Station 6, except this is smaller. The whole frame is shorter, the barrel is shorter, and the magazine and the bottom of the grip are all one unit, where on the Station 6, it's like a 1911 9mm magazine. So a little bit different there. And essentially, if you're going to use this in clandestine operations, if you had the suppressor attached, you would do what you had to do with it. And then, of course, it'd be ultra quiet because the action of the firearm doesn't operate when you fire. You have to manually operate. So you would take your hand, you cover up the chamber like this, make sure your thumb pushes in that grip safety. You can pull out the bolt, the round will extract into your palm, close the bolt back up, loading the next round, and then you got that bullet in your hand that you can put in your pocket so you don't leave any trace. The original well rods were in 32 ACP. This one is chambered in 9mm. Besides it being a little bit smaller, as I said, the thread pitch of the barrel is different. So this is left-hand threads, where the Station 6 is right-hand threads. So it's more Americanized. And only 500 of these were made. It even has a really cool logo on the side. I don't know here. Let me see if I can light this up a little bit. Sorry, guys. Right there, you can kind of see that logo on it. But of course, I had to wait for the suppressors because of our stupid gun laws, but I got them. It comes with a wipe suppressor and a training suppressor, just like the Station 6, but they're not compatible. I have the Station 6 and both of the suppressors, but it said the parts are not interchangeable, so you have to get the two different suppressors. So here is the training suppressor, which is like a traditionally baffled suppressor. You can see that, you can see through it. And let me see if I can show you some of the baffles in there. Try to get this in the light. Sorry, guys. This is just my camera phone. Well, you can kind of see it's the stainless steel baffles in there. What you would expect from a standard suppressor. The suppressor is not user serviceable, but that's it right there. And then you have the wiped suppressor, and as you can see, you cannot see through it. And so it has a series of wipes in it, which are essentially like pieces of plastic, discs, and there's a few of them. In fact, if you watch my normal videos, you'll see that poster. In fact, I'm looking at it here in my garage, and you can see the two different suppressors. In fact, I will move my camera and show you guys here. So sorry if this gets a little bit loud for you, but here, I will turn the camera around, and right there, you can see the poster that's normally in the back, and they have the two suppressors right there. In fact, let me come over here and show you. The difference is, here we have the wiped suppressor. So there are the wipes. Up here you have the baffles. So that is what the pistol is and what the suppressors do. The wipes are more traditional. So anyway, I'm going to put this all together here because now I have the complete package. Now, I'm anxious to see what this thing looks like with the suppressor attached, but I can't do it on camera. I have to do it off camera. So imagine me screwing the suppressor on. Now, YouTube says it's okay now, but back a little bit ago, a few months ago, one of the reasons I had issues with my other channel was because I showed suppressors being screwed on firearms. So even though they've changed their policy, we're not going to risk it. We're not going to do that on camera. So you guys can imagine what this looks like. So let's go ahead and put on the actual wiped suppressor. So I'm going to do it off camera so you can't see it, but it is left-hand thread. Okay, so I'm not showing it, YouTube. And there you go. That's what it looks like. And it mounts right up against the frame. That is one slick looking pistol. So obviously it's the veterinary pistol, but it's the well rod. And go, as I said, and look up the history of the well rod. This is just a really, really cool firearm. And man, do the dealers that have them want a lot of money for them. They're pricey and they're rare. But if you're a B&T collector, you might need to have one. But it should fit here in the case with the suppressor and the baffled suppressor. I can put in the case as well. So that's the complete package right there. That's pretty cool. So anyway, I'll probably make a video about this. I do need to make a complete B&T collection video. And anyway, that's just my latest acquisition, so I wanted to share it with you. So let's talk about some other stuff. Now, when I was away in New Mexico, I guess Mitch McConnell, the minority leader of the Senate, had some type of weird brain freeze when he was giving some speech or something. And I'm glad to see that political commentators from both sides of the aisle are finally starting to wake up to something, because they're calling out everybody. That there are people in government that do not care about you. They don't care about your family. They don't care about your constitutional rights. They care about one thing: their legacy and their power. Because I know that there are good people in government and people that want to do well. There are people that legitimately say, I want to serve. I want to make the government better. I want to do better things for my fellow man and woman and so forth. But then there are people that get in there, and you would think that a point when you're having loss of mental faculties, and I'm speaking of Mitch McConnell, I'm speaking of Dianne Feinstein, who obviously has dementia and Alzheimer's. Obviously, there's a lot of questions about Joe Biden. But these people just can't go home. They just won't go away. And I look at it from this perspective. Maybe it's because I'm going through my existential crisis. I'm 43 years old and wondering, are there fewer days ahead than there are behind? And then questioning my life, my choices. Have I made a difference in this world? All that kind of stuff. And I think everybody goes through that to some degree. But I would like to think that if I was 80, 90 years old, that I'm going to put things in perspective and go, I probably don't have that much time left. It might be good to go home. If I'm able to get around, if I'm mobile, I'm going to go travel. I want to see things. I want to experience things. I want to see my family. At that age, you probably have grandkids or great grandkids. You want to go eat some good food. You want to go see beautiful things. And these people, because power is so seductive to them, that they won't leave their jobs. They won't go, and even their constituents aren't being served by this. Do we really think that Dianne Feinstein, who, as I said, we all know she has Alzheimer's. We all know that. She doesn't know where she's at, and she has to be told how to vote in the Senate. She doesn't know where she's at or what's going on. How does that help her constituents? How does that help anybody that's living in California that's like, I need to contact my senator's office to get something done? Because they're not just there to vote on national legislation. They have services for their constituents. And I know some people are going to say, well, they have aides and office people for that. Well, yes, I understand that, but they're in charge of that. They have to be making those decisions. They have to be running things. They need to be hiring people, and their faculties are not there. And what ultimately ends up happening is these people are there and they have a playbook that they have to follow. If you're a Republican, you're supposed to do and say this. If you're a Democrat, you're supposed to do and say this. And they might not even care. They don't care. Do you really think that Mitch McConnell or Dianne Feinstein care about gun rights? They really don't. I think Dianne Feinstein did. I don't think she knows what the hell's going on now. So I don't think that she knows what's going on. Mitch McConnell, I don't think he cares about your gun rights. He will sell you out if it means he gets to become majority leader again instead of just being minority leader. He will sell you out. It's all about his power. It's all about his legacy, and that is it. And when he had that mental freeze, it's obvious that there's something severely wrong with him. There's something severely wrong. Okay? Maybe we're talking dementia. Maybe we're talking about a stroke. Maybe we're talking, I don't know. Something's wrong. But the Republicans won't stand up in the Senate and Congress and go, Mitch, you got to step down. We need an effective leader. But we see this on both sides. Look at of course I said Feinstein, you got Joe Biden, you even got Trump, who's 77, 78 years old. Feinstein's pushing 90. You have Chuck Schumer, who's in his 80s. You have Mitch McConnell, he's got to be late 70s, early 80s. And these are the people that are running the country. Now, I know what some people who might be older are saying. Well, they have the experience, because I can tell you as a 43-year-old, when I see some 25-year-old get elected to Congress, which is the minimum age you can be to be elected to Congress, or someone like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, you sit there, and even a 43-year-old, you roll your eyes and go, oh my God, they have no life experience. They have no idea what's going on. And I understand that people that are older would look at people in their 40s or 50s and still say they don't know what they're doing. The 70-year-olds, they know what's going on. So I understand that perspective. But why do we have people in the seats of power, if that's the case, that obviously are in mental decline? What are we going to do about this as a country? It's scary, because these people make decisions that will affect you, your constitutional rights, for generations to come. A vote, for example, of, let's say, John McCain before he passed away. And I was no fan of John McCain. I felt that because he felt snubbed by Trump, look what he did. He broke ranks with Republicans. He didn't care about his constituents, and he began voting with the Democrats to spite Trump. If he really cared about his constituents and doing the right thing, he would have done the right thing. But he chose not to, because it wasn't about the constituency. It wasn't even about his party. It was about him and his power. Power corrupts absolutely, and power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. There you go. That's the same. And we see this more and more. And in the video recently where I talked about why I don't vote, this is another reason why I don't vote. Because I will vote for somebody, let's say they have an R by their name, they claim, I love gun rights, I love guns, I'm going to go to Congress and fight for you. Okay, you got my vote. Okay, good, you won. They go up there, man, I just can't vote for the Hearing Protection Act. We just can't get it through. Sorry, we just don't have the votes. Are you sure about that? It's just it's an election year, and okay, what about repealing? How about defunding the ATF? It's just the Democrats are going to be against it, and it's going to be a hard push. We just can't do that. We can't do that. That's what the Republicans give you. I'm not saying there's a solution in here, and people got mad at me and said, "Oh my gosh, you're by you not voting, you have no right to complain." I'm not voting for people that are going to take away my rights, whether those people are going to take away my rights this year or in 5 years. They're still taking away my rights. So why do I participate in that system? And people, the population at large, are idiots, okay? And I'm sorry for being that disparaging about other people, but they really are, because I guarantee you, if Dianne Feinstein ran for Senate again, she would win. They voted in John Fetterman, someone that can't put two sentences together. Because of what? Dr. Oz, who was his competitor, is a racist or whatever, and he's not. You have a very articulate, well-educated person who, I guess, cares about the state of Pennsylvania. Maybe. And the people of Pennsylvania voted in John Fetterman because he has a D by his name. And they have no idea he suffered a major stroke. He's missed so many votes. He's not there for his constituents, but they're going to vote for him no matter what. Dianne Feinstein could be on a ventilator and unconscious, and they will still re-elect her. So we don't really have a democracy or a representative republic anymore. We have an oligarchy. And these people are akin to royalty. They cannot be questioned, and they will be in there until the day they die. Their goal is to die as a senator, to die as a congressman, to die as a secretary of this or they want the power forever. They don't want to die on their deathbed being a commoner like you or me. And because we don't have a mechanism in place to get them out, besides voting, people say, well, vote them out. Great, you're educated, but you're outvoted by the other people that don't know better. Or if you have a young candidate that's, smart, intelligent, capable of doing the job, full of energy, he'll be or they won't vote for him in the primary because we all know Mitch McConnell's name. I mean, he's established. We'll go ahead and vote for him. You can't win. The whole system is rigged. The whole system is rigged. And because of that, you're being played by both sides. Obviously, the Democrats want to take your guns, and the Republicans, they don't care. They'll let it happen as long as they can figure out a way of maintaining power and being in there forever. They will sell you up the river. Because if they really cared about you, Mitch McConnell would step down. He doesn't have to resign as senator. He can resign as minority leader and be like, okay, we need somebody that is going to push this agenda, push our right, get things done. Nope, he's not going to do it. And that is another reason why we're going to lose our gun rights in the end. So for those of you that will vote for a Mitch McConnell or a John McCain, that's fine. It is your right to do so. Or to vote for the establishment because you're like, well, this other person, they like Trump and they're MAGA or whatever. Well, I'm going to vote for they're they're going to sell you up the river. And because of that, we're going to lose. If the Democrats take full control, we lose all of our rights tomorrow. If the Republicans take full control, we lose all of our rights in 5 years. The outcome is the same. And so whether you want to just rip the Band-Aid off now or continue living in denial that it's not going to happen, I don't know. That decision's up to you. But anyway, that's what I want to say. So I have something cool tonight. Fun B&T stuff. And some downer stuff. I'm being a little bit of a Debbie Downer tonight. But I want to talk about that because I think it's gun related. I'm also thinking about doing a SIG P320 video and talking about what I think is actually happening internally with the guns. Would you guys want to see a video on that? I would, of course, put that on the main channel because I'd like to take the guns apart, field strip them, and show you, I guess, side by side with a Glock. Not that I have any definitive answers, but what I think some of the problems are when it comes to these unintentional discharges. So let me know if you guys think that would be a good topic, because I would love to make a video on that. So I guess if you made it to the end of this 21-minute video, say the word, let's just say, well, because I'm talking about the P320, say P320 in the comment. I know you made it to the end. And you guys are the ultimate vault dwellers. So anyway, hope you guys are enjoying the content on the main channel and enjoy this behind the scenes content and discussions that we have here. I absolutely love it. And I want to let you guys know that I do plan on doing some live streams on the main channel once I hit 10,000 subscribers. I'm coming close to 3,000 right now, so I think I'm doing pretty good. Not 3,000. I'm coming close to 7,000 right now. I need 3,000 more. So anyway, sorry guys, it's getting hot out here. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.